Now we have Big Ross Hanna coming up now. You momentarily. I think he's got some more talk about parody cups as well.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that you should know about the other learners, they didn't go in the parody cup last year because they're good friends with Nick, and they knew that if they went in it, Nick could run second again. And he won. But it's on for young and old next year. And Nick's, by the way, Nick is just writing a concert about Barnaby. I don't know how many people you'll get to go to that. Anyway, I just want to read you this because this sums up what poetry is all about. I don't sing. I can't sing. Nobody's ever heard me sing. This is what a certain person called Mark Twain said. What a lumbering poor vehicle prose is for the conveying of a great thought. Prose wanders around with a lantern and laboriously schedules and verifies the details and particulars of a valley and its frame of crags and peaks. Then poetry comes and lays bare the whole landscape with a single splendid flash. And then singers come along, songwriters come along, pinch your poetry, and bugger it up. And the reason I did that was because that's true. I said to Blue the Shearer, Blue, who was a great poet, Blue, what got you into writing poetry? And he said, well, he said in 1936, remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Not yesterday.
In 1936, he said, my father came home from the pub. And he said to my mother, I've just heard a wonderful poem. And I'm going to recite it to you. And she said, don't you bring me home any stuff from the pub. You get in here and eat your dinner. He said, I'm going to do it anyway. And he did it. And you remember what happened in 1936? It was the abdication. And the little poem was a limerick. And it was, there was a young king named Ed who took Mrs. Simpson to bed. As they bounced up and down, he said, bugger the crown, give it to me brother instead. Probably 20 million words of prose were summed up in that limerick. So I like to keep everything fairly small. So I wrote a limerick about a limerick. Poets' memories when they start to stall. Flight of limericks, the best of them all. For old rhymers, old timers, and those with Alzheimer's. For there's only 5 lines to recall. And I thought I wrote a limerick about Pauline. You know Pauline? Well, I wanted to say Pauline gives me the shits, but I didn't want to say it like that. So I thought if I write a limerick that expresses that, it's a little bit more subtle. So I wrote this limerick. I have a health problem. I need some medication. I consulted with Pauline. She heads One Nation. She said, hear what I say, and it'll fix you today. So I did, and her rants have cured my constipation. Then I was listening to her, what she was on about, and she was on about mass deportation. Oh, I'm in favour of that. I wrote a poem about it. Here it is. And I send my poems out on cards, as everyone knows, because they get them through the mail. I'm Australia's Post best customer. Times are hard. I can't afford a full-size card. It's small size, leaves no room to philosophise, but I'd say not thinking's some Australian's way. That is why some swallow every Pauline lie. Don't want those here. Let's deport them all to North Korea, where they all can have a monocultural ball. This card's just to say good day. This one, the one thing I noticed about John was that he didn't write much about New Zealand. And I realised why later in life, that because a certain person in his life came from Gisborne, I think, is that right? Born in Gisborne, New Zealand. And he didn't want to get in the shit. So he kept very quiet about New Zealand poems. And when this certain person sometimes judges the poems or the songs at the parody concert at our festival, she immediately disqualifies anyone who sings about New Zealand. So I've just got two New Zealand poems that I think, one might be a bit confronting, this one. We're over here in Kiwi land. There's very little fuss because everyone speaks English, just the same as us. And folk all understand you. At least that's what I thought. Till I tried to buy 5 pies for lunch. And that's when I got caught. I'd like to have 5 pies, I said. I think it's my turn next. She said, you can have one free if only you'll have sex. Well, I've never had this offer. It seemed so good to miss. So I leant across the counter just to plant a little kiss. When I picked myself up from the floor, I saw my eyes was black. What was more, I never had the pies. I'd need another snack. And I thought I heard her say that I was simply Aussie fresh, and I ought to be deported for trying to be flesh. So if you ever deal with Kiwis, beware their cunning tricks, and only ever ask for 5, and never ask for sex. I've done that one a few times in New Zealand crowds, and they like it. They have a good sense of humour. Anyway, this one is a la John, because he would do something like this, and he would not get into trouble off bail. I wrote this back in 2014, and it's called The Ditch. I did it the other day for the first time. I dug it out, I found it. And this is, we have a lot of Kiwis, don't we, who come over here and migrate. But the Kiwis are not real happy about having Australians go over there to Kiwi land. And they have one thing that helps them out. You know what it is? The Tasman Sea. They call it the ditch. So this is the ditch. Bear in mind it's 2014, but the point is you will recognise quite a lot of the people mentioned in it. They're still around. Oh. We're over here in Kiwi land. We think the place is fine. There is no Tony Abbott, no Morrison, no Pine. And people all recall how they called Julia a witch. And one and all they all remark, thank heavens for the ditch. They welcome boat arrivals. There's no detention centres. And Abbott and his mad monks would never be their mentors. They don't want them over here. They find it all too rich. And everyone you speak to says, thank heavens for the dish. I can't believe a leader says that climate change is crap. What does he use for brains, they say? He's really off the map. It says something about Aussies who believe this foolish pitch. We don't want them in Kiwi land. Thank heavens for the dish. They know that Budgie Smuggler is a swimmer of some note. He likes to swim in marathons. It helps him get the boat. But he can't swim to New Zealand, even if he gets the itch, for it's far too hard. He's sure to drown. Thank heavens for the dish. But all my Kiwi mates I met say, "Hey Russ, where are you from?" I grimace with my teeth and say, "Sadly, I'm a pom." I'm not. They look at me with pity. Poms don't really cause a glitch, not like those ones from Mad Monk Land. Thank heavens for the ditch. That's the ditch. Do you want one short one more? This is a farewell to Tony Abbott. Well, I thought it was when the came back. A ship that was bound for Chicago was caught smuggling avion with cargo. But when they looked all around, not a parrot was found. So where did the budgeriggar go? Folk all thought the budgies had fled when the smuggler was politically dead, for he'd been retrenched and then been backbenched and hid the budgies under his bed. Now the one thing that people all dread, flocks of budgies being smuggled instead of cocaine and crack, heroin and smack. It means the budgie smuggler is back.